Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Green Room. Today we have on Jozey from Jozey and the Corruption. Oh yeah, thank you for coming on, brother. And how you doing today?
Hey man, I really appreciate you guys having us. I'm doing good. It's a Wednesday night, sitting here having a couple drinks with my wife and having a good time.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
So take us through the formation of the band and the other band members.
Yeah,
How'd you all get started?
sure. So I've been in and out of bands, for 25, 30 years. I started late, but I've been doing bands for a long time now. And I was in a band called LA Knights, and theoretically, we've never broken up. And we just decided one day we were going to do a few other things. And that band is actually going to do a reunion show next month or in January. So, but we just play like we played once in the last 3 years. And so I was doing everything in that band. And I love the guys in that band. They're my brothers. You know what I mean? We went and we played some cool shows on the road. We played Austin, Texas for South by Southwest. We opened for Tom Kiefer up in Buffalo, an outdoor thing that was really awesome. We got to do a lot of cool things, but I was doing like everything. I was booking the shows, I was promoting the shows, I was making sure everybody got there on time. I was getting there, getting all the gear, in all that kind of stuff. And it just got to a point where I was like, man, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to try and see if I can sing a little bit. Now, I'm not the greatest singer, but I can write stuff for myself. I'm like, I'm just going to try. It'll be fun. It'll be a little side project. It'll be cool. So I went out and found a couple guys and we started jamming and I was really digging it. And COVID came and everything kind of went not on hold because we kept practicing. We weren't scared off by everything. We kept practicing.
Right.
But during that time, LA Knights decided to kind of just take a break for a while. We actually played the night before they shut the whole world down. We played like a St. Patrick's show that was really cool. I didn't want to do it because I thought nobody was coming because they've been saying, hey, don't go out tonight, don't be around anybody, all that kind of stuff. And we ended up having like 200 people in this little bar. It was crazy. And then so I just started working on Jozey and the Corruption during COVID. I started writing, I started jamming. I got a studio in my basement, started jamming every night on stuff myself. I had a really great bass player, a really great drummer. We were working on stuff. We played a couple shows after COVID was over. Actually, we played a really cool show during COVID, but it was at like a bike race, or not a bike race, a car race where a drag strip, and it was called Rock and Race, and they had bands playing in between the races and stuff. It was pretty cool, but you couldn't come down to the stage. Like
Hell
nobody was
yeah,
allowed to.
that's awesome though. That's
Yeah,
that's hey, rock and roll's got to live on. So,
that's
I
right.
mean, what inspired the sound with the high energy performances and everything that you guys got going
Yeah,
on? We know you're performance
yeah.
heavy band. You kind of went
So
through that a little bit.
some of that was based on what I could sing and what I couldn't sing. I'm not your traditional lead singer. I'm not going to sound like Vince Neil, or I'm not going to sound like, a lot of guys that are what I would consider great singers. But I got attitude and I got my own style. I mean, you've listened to me. I got my own thing going, and I embraced that. And that's how we started forming our sound. I found a couple songs that were covers that I could do really cool. And then from there, I started writing stuff to go along that style that just kind of worked. I don't want to say all the writing.
Almost like a Danzig sound when in
I
your
get that
vocal
every now
cord.
and then. Yeah, I get
Dude,
that.
I love it. I love it. It brings back that punk rock, that air,
Yeah.
and
There's definitely
and
some punk in there for sure. And I had to embrace that because that's what, where my voice fit naturally. But I'm a glam guy from the 80s. I'm a Rat and a Dokken and a Motley
yeah,
Crue
yeah.
and Guns N' Roses dude. So I want to write songs that have a big hook and a big melody. So if you listen to the new single we got out, Grip, it's got the biggest hook and melody I've ever written, and
Right, right.
people listen and they get mad at me because they walk around the rest of the day singing the chorus to Grip.
Oh yeah, yeah. So tell us about the hometown. You're in Ohio?
Yeah, Akron, Ohio. Um, you know, at one point it was the rubber capital of the world, and it was dirty and grungy, and it's still kind of that way. A lot of still a lot of attitude, still a lot of just kind of living on the streets and that kind of stuff. Akron is a cool city to be from. It's not necessarily where you want to be forever, but it's a cool city to be from. And I meet a lot of good people. The people here are hard workers, and they love rock and roll, and they love metal, and we found a following definitely here. Yeah, go
What's
ahead.
some of the best memories that you've made so far with this new band? You got LA Knights, your old band, but these new guys, what's some of the best memories that you guys have put
Right
down?
on, man. One was that show I told you about before. We played outdoor at COVID, even though it was COVID and everybody had to be away from each other. There was still 500 people there. It was a
Uh,
cool show. I have a video of that somewhere. It was really cool. We played on this big truck bed, but everybody from that lineup is gone. And so my next lineup, we got to open up at a place in Cleveland. It was really cool, and we played with Trapped, and we played with Saving Abel and a couple bands like that, and that was really cool playing in front of 300 to 700 people, and we were the first band, and they all dug us, and that's kind of when I decided I needed to get us. I used to just have a three piece. I decided I needed a second guitar player so that I could do a little more lead singer thing, even though I play all the leads and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to have some room to be able to talk to the crowd a little bit more and kind of get them involved and lift that. You mentioned energy, lift that energy up a little bit more, even when,
Kind of hype everything up, you know.
yeah, for
And you
sure.
guys
And
do
let,
that. We were watching through some of the show footage of you guys, and
yeah,
maybe we could play a clip. But you guys really drive. Like, I was like, shit, this is like an old school '80s band or late '70s band with you guys drive the hype, like a little
yeah.
Eddie Van
And
Halen
that's,
hype in there.
the way I look at it, man, no matter where you're playing and what you're doing on a weekend, Friday night, people are coming out and spending 5, 10, 15 bucks, whatever it is, to come see your original band. They don't want to come and see you standing there doing nothing and not talking to them and not putting on a big show for them. They love a show, and that's just who I am. At every band I've been in, I wasn't the lead singer, but I was the lead guy. I was out front with the singer, putting on a show for the band. So I'm trying to kind of pull that all together. One of the guys I look
Well,
up to.
when you're not like I actually come from a background kind of similar. I mean, before I was ever singing, I was playing, and when you're coming from there, you almost especially as like a more rock guitar player, you want to move
Mhm.
around and you want to bring that show.
Yeah,
And then when you get stuck on the microphone, it's to me, it's like a ball and chain on your ankle. You're like stuck up against the microphone playing. So I understand why you went the direction you did. Talk about some of the struggles in music and like how hard has it been to get to where you guys are right now? How hard has it been going through
yeah.
COVID and 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 where does it lie that what makes you guys want to keep going and play?
Right. So I don't think that I could stop even at my age. I just got to keep. I just love writing songs, and I love playing shows and playing my songs. I've done cover bands. I still do a couple where we do covers, songs and stuff. But I want to write. I want to play my songs for people. And what is hard is playing a show with three other cover bands that nobody really knows and trying to get people to come and stay the whole night and they don't know the songs, and when they could just be sitting somewhere listening to cover bands and that are playing songs they know. It's hard to get people to pay attention to you. I have managed to build a pretty solid, tight group of people to come see us, but it's not huge. You know what I mean? It's not more people listen to us in Brazil and Germany than play our stuff here in Akron, Ohio. You know what I mean?
That
But everybody has CD, so they're listening to the CD or they're listening to that kind of stuff. But yeah,
that takes us to like the mission statement of Soundwave is why is it so hard to get press in America? You know, and you complain about a problem so much, and then we were like, let's solve this problem, you know.
let's figure it out. Yeah, and you guys are doing
Yeah,
that. You're doing a good job with it, and what you're doing is cool. And bands like mine need that, and we're getting better at promoting ourselves in this new world. And
right.
by doing that, we're going to be better at promoting your deal that you're doing here, other podcasts and local shows. We're going to be able to help with that kind of stuff for sure.
Well, it's really turning into a world where we just got to kind of we have to take back the airwaves. We have to take back the industry. It's all
Hmm.
kind of been taken away from us. And now,
Yeah.
you know, but I mean, how did music first, come into your life and change it? And for me, it was like,
Um,
it kind of was MTV or whatever might have
yeah.
been going on. So where is music coming into everybody else's life? But yeah, let's go to that question. How did music come into your life and change it and everything?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, my dad was a big rocker, big metal guy. Sabbath. We listened to, all that kind of stuff. My mom was into like, and I still love this stuff. Guess Who, American Woman, stuff like that. And then they were both into like Zeppelin, so I grew up with Zeppelin and Sabbath and just all that great '70s
Yeah.
arena rock and roll, man. And to me, those bands, the thing that made them amazing was they wrote hooks and they wrote stuff that the first time you heard that song, you were going to sing it when you went home.
And you could
You were going
listen
to
to
sing.
a song almost instrumentally and it'd still
Yeah,
be good.
yeah, because
Yeah.
they knew
No,
how to
I
write
mean,
real hooks on guitar, vocally, anything. Yeah, it was different then. You developed these bands. The record labels developed bands. They didn't just say, "Oh, your first album sucks, so we're going to
but
get
I
rid of
mean,
you."
I will say we have covered over this year
Hmm.
since January. I'm not sure the number, but we've covered a different band every day all year long. We're almost to the end of the
That's
year
awesome, man.
and
Yeah,
great bands, dude. It's still there. It's just
yeah,
we got to break through. We got a
yes.
revolution, everything.
Well, I mean,
I mean,
and that's
and
what you're
that's what
doing. There's a couple other people out there like this. I don't know if you ever listened to EWL. Tim from EWL, he has his own show he does on Friday nights. It's awesome. And my friends over at OTAT on the air, they're awesome. They promote independent bands too. So I
yeah, and
think that
it's
there is.
it's and Soundwave is trying to get we'd love to talk to them. I mean, we're trying to get everybody we can and kind of make a whole network. We need to make a
Yeah.
network and launch, you know what I mean? And but I mean, let's talk it takes gear. And let's talk about gear. What kind of gear do you like to use? What kind of gear do your guitar players use? Let's talk about some guitars or what do you let's
So in
talk
this
about it.
band, I stick mostly. I've got three Les Pauls or Les Paul. I got one that's not a Les Paul, but it's like a Les Paul. I use those three. I got a Marshall. I'm building a little pedal board, but I don't use a lot of effects. I'll throw some delay, and I've got the Eddie Van Halen phaser that I'll throw on there every now and then. And I like wah, so I use a wah live a lot.
What kind of
I've got
why you got?
I like the Crybaby. I've also got
Yeah.
yeah, I've also got another one, but I never got into. I can't remember what it is. It's the company that makes Bad Horsey. But it's not a Bad Horsey. But I've got that. I like the Crybaby. I've got the original Crybaby. I use that. I've got a couple. I got a delay and a flange, stuff like just. But I'm not a big on my leads. I like a boost and I like a delay, and that's
And just
mostly what
play
I
it
use.
out. Yep, and
Yeah,
just play.
yeah. Yep. And then
It pays to
I've got
play
a
your
cabinet
instrument.
that I love. I've got a cabinet that I love, and it's by a company called Jens Benz. And one of my top three guitar player heroes of all time is George Lynch from Dokken. And he created this 2x12 cabinet that has like baffles underneath it. So you get this amazing low end. And it's actually signed by him. I don't know if it was his or what, but I've been using that for 20 years. It's just a nice little 2x12. I never need more than that, and it's easy to take to the shows, and it just sounds rocking. So that's what I use. My drummer or my other guitar player, he's got a Marshall and stuff that he uses here for rehearsal, but he's been using a head rush live and just has
Okay.
his tone dialed in, yeah. And I don't mind. He likes it. He can hear himself a little bit better, and he's got his own little monitor that he takes and puts it right in front of him, and that's just what he uses, and it sounds pretty good. Yeah,
That's incredible, man. That
yeah,
all good gear. I play Marshall, so I'm in there with you.
yeah. Which one do you got?
Well, I got an old trans tube one, and
Okay.
I got I actually am guilty of playing the Fender too because I got the Fender twin reverb. So I mean, I switch back and
That's an
forth from
awesome.
both. But in studio, I use Marshall, and I'll switch back and
So
forth because it sounds better when you layer and everything. But let's
in
talk about it.
studio, the guy that I work with, Curran Murphy, has the greatest collection of guitars and amps. He sells amps and stuff also. So the last album, I used a Friedman. Curran creates his own custom audio mutation amps. I used those two. Plus, I used two of these badass Paul Reed Smiths that he had, and
Hell yeah.
This Les Paul that I like so much that I ended up buying it off of him. I used
What
those
what
three
year?
plus
What year is it if you know?
the Les Paul. I don't even know. It looks like if I rode a motorcycle, I put it on the back of the motorcycle and rode for about 2,000 miles, like just beat
Oh,
up and
so
just
it's yeah,
it's
yeah.
beautiful. And he loaded up with like DiMarzio pickups and all this amazing stuff. And I used it
So
on a couple leads. I just said, I
preference
want this.
heavy guitar or light guitar? You like a heavy guitar or light guitar?
So in this band, everything I got's heavy. I mean, the Les Pauls are heavy. You know, when I was
Right,
in LA, I
exactly.
used in LA Nights, I used Charvels and I used the 80s kind of. I got a couple George Lynch ESPs, and those are a little bit lighter, but yeah, I guess I like it. I like to feel the weight of it, I guess. Yeah.
Right, right. You were
What about
touching on
you?
the recording
What
process
guitars you
there
use?
and the writing process. What guitar do I use?
Yeah.
I use I have a 2020 Les Paul. Um
Okay.
Gibson went back to specs and everything in
Yeah.
2019, and I watched like the whole tour walkthrough of their thing, and I wanted to buy an old one, and I was like, I don't want the body chambered, I want the tone.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
I realized they went back to specs, so I'm not plugging Gibson or anything. But
Yeah.
they
Hell
went
yeah.
back to the night, so I got a 60s style. But
Right now, I've got a double neck that looks like Jimmy Page's. Uh,
oh,
it's
is it
not a Gibson.
12?
It's a
You got
12
the
and a 6,
12 and
and
then yeah.
I put Les Paul pickups on the bottom on the 6 string, and I only paid like $450 for this guitar, and it came with a case, and
Wow,
it plays like
man.
butter, and it sounds amazing. I force my way to use it on different things because I just love having it.
But
Guitar sounds good.
you were talking a little while back about the writing process and in the studio. So like what is the writing process and in the studio, how you guys working, who you working with, and take us
Yeah.
through how songs come together.
Oh yeah, man. So when I write, there's a couple ways I write. I start thinking of a title of a song that I want to use. Like we got a song called "Cocaine for Breakfast," and I just was singing that song for about a year, and I could never find the right melody, and I could never find the right story to write lyrics. But I had that title, and then one day I was driving for work. I drove like 2 hours, 4 hours home somewhere, and the song came to me, and I came home, and in 10 minutes everything came out, and I wrote it, and we had practice that night. I went to the guys and I said, I need you to do exactly this, and we had it down the way we play it on the album within 20 minutes.
How
But it
good is
took
it
me
to
three
have a
years.
band like that?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just walked in and said, I need you guys. And they were cool. Like, okay, let's try it. What do you got? And a couple of weeks ago, I brought a song to the guys that I'd finished. And I get like super talkative and like nervous talking when I bring a song that I know is going to be awesome to the guys because I want to get everything out of my head so they hear what I'm talking about. And so this day, I was just talking. And by the end of the practice, about an hour after we started it, we had the version done, recorded. It's just, so I kind of write like that. I come up with a title or I come up with a line and then write around that. And then with this band, I will then write music to go with the lyrics. And we
Right.
work with Curran Murphy is our producer. He's done both of these albums. He's done my last 4 albums in different bands. He has a studio called Custom Audio Mutation. He is the guitar player now for Venom Inc. And he's like touring the world and just destroying. He used to be in what was he in? He was in Nevermore, and he was in there was another one like that. I can't think of it right now. Big metal band like that. So in the '90s, he was,
Yeah,
you know, a
yeah.
big
I
deal.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up in the 90s. Nevermore was big.
yeah.
Um, you guys released two new singles this year. I Am
Hmm.
Rock and Grip. You started to talk about
Yeah.
Grip earlier, but I Am Rock, man, hell of a song.
Thank you, man.
Um,
Yeah, I
you talk
mean, I
about
love
the
that song. And that's another song that came up funny because I was in there's an island up here in Ohio called Put Bay, and I was up in this island with the guys from LA Nights, and we were partying, like a lot of partying. And I'm standing on the corner, just hammered out of my mind, and somebody, they were playing rock in this one bar and we were watching it. And I said, man, that's not rock. And Troy goes, no, it's not. And I said, I am rock. And he goes, you are rock. You need to write that song. And from then on, I just had started writing this song. And I always told him, even though you didn't do anything, I'm giving you songwriting credits because you're the one that told me you are rock, you know. So he got a songwriting credit on it. I've rewritten that song twice until it finally got the version that I was happy with. And I love that song. I love everything about it. It's rock and
That's a
roll.
song you hear and you're like, I've heard this before, but no, I know I haven't heard it before, but I should have already heard it before. And it's kind of like you guys are
Yeah.
how people say you're before your time. You guys are in the world of rock and roll. That's like the same as being before your time. When you can reach back and touch like the 80s or the 70s and really like complete the feeling, man, that's heavy.
I appreciate it. That's a great way to describe it. I played a show one night with a band called Angel that used to be big in the 70s. You know, we played and they sold out the venue. And some guy came up to me after the show and said, hey, man, I've seen Angel play 5 times. I've heard every song they've ever done. I came in here and I saw 3 bands tonight. And the only song I'm leaving tonight and singing is Cocaine for Breakfast and I Am Rock. He said, those are the 2 songs. And I said, that's what I
That's
want.
actually my the two that I'm like, you guys need to write more songs like that. Well,
Okay.
but yeah, let us know about a couple more songs that you love, and what's a
Yeah.
song that you tell fans to listen to. We're coming up on a break, so
Okay.
give us that, and yeah,
So
go
I
ahead.
love the new song Grip that's out. I mean, that's an awesome song. It's doing great. We've got over 20,000 streams already, man. It's gone freaking crazy for us. And then off the first album, there's 2 songs that I really enjoy besides Cocaine for Breakfast. And one is Sin City Outlaw. That's like our opener, and it's just all energy. It's just punk energy, rock and roll. And then we do this silly, fun song about meeting a girl in a bar called Trash. And I love that song too. And everybody that comes to our show, that's one of their favorites. That's a sing along. They start singing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody, we'll be back.
Check it out, mad simple. After you're set up with your account, all you're gonna do is go up and hit the upload button. After you hit upload, it's going to give you a list of all the places your song will be distributed. You can release a single, you can release an album. You're gonna go ahead and pick your release date, type in the record label. If you're not signed or you don't have your own independent label, you can write whatever in that box. Drop and drag your cover art, pick your language and your genre, and you're pretty much done. If you're an artist about to upload your first song, make sure you visit distrokid.com.
All right, everybody, and we're back here with Jozey and the Corruption. All right, how you doing? You doing all right still?
Yeah, man, this is awesome.
Oh yeah. So let's bust into like your inspirations, and not just your inspirations, but like what do you love about rock and roll music, and what do you think is one of the best music moments maybe in history so far?
Okay. All right. So what I love about rock and roll is just the rebellion, the freedom, the ability to talk about, be about, live about what you want. Um, Rock and roll just, man, it just rises. It makes you, rock and roll just makes you feel that you can do anything. If you're listening to a good rock song, it just makes you feel better about maybe where you are, about what you've been doing, about anything. Rock and roll just makes you feel, a real rock and roll song makes you feel better, I think.
Yeah.
And
And
as far as like what like great rock moments, um, man, I mean, I have gotten to be more and more of a Zeppelin fan as I got older. And one of the coolest things I've seen was when they did Celebration Day and they got back together and they played with his son. And just like the love on everybody's face for that one day was just like, It was pretty cool. They were celebrating for real, celebrating what they had accomplished in the '70s, and yeah, I love that.
What is your plan to branch out over the next year? You know, what are you
Okay,
going to do to move forward?
so we have to be careful about what we do. We want to. We feel like we're getting to that point where we could go play some shows and start maybe doing. I don't want to say a tour, but we could do some runs. Go out and
Yeah.
so one of the things we got planned next year is that radio show I was telling you about, EWL Indie Review show on Fridays. They're doing a show in Iowa called Punk in the Corn, and you should definitely. I know you're kind of into a little bit of that punk stuff. You should check it out. They're going to have 2 nights, and everybody's indie except the headliners, and like they're trying to get like Black Flag and some other like major punk band. They're trying to get them locked in to be the headliners. They're going to have 2 big headliners, but then everybody else is going to be somebody like us. So we decided that we're going to go. We're playing Friday there. We're gonna put together a week or more of a tour on the way there. I've been talking to some other bands from this area that are going, and we're talking about maybe trying to get a couple shows where we go together and play like 3 shows on the way there and 2 shows on the way back. Just kind of do that, start spreading the word. But the other thing that we're going to do is I got another band that's around here called the Velvomatics, and they're awesome. And they're really, Johnny's one of my best friends, and him and I want to do stuff where we start, hey, on Friday night, let's play. This is as far as we can drive on Friday. How far can we get on Saturday? Can we find a Sunday show somewhere on the way back? And start doing that and going in and playing with other bands that are big in those towns or those areas. And then do that a bunch of times until maybe one day we say, okay, now we've got 12 cities in the Midwest or wherever that we can go get away with doing this. So, yeah, I mean, my goal is at some point I want to have like a 1 month tour where that's all I got to worry about. It's just going and playing music, man.
Well, if you're ever passing through Mississippi or Tampa area, holler at us and we'll see
Yeah.
what we can do. Pull some
Is that where you're
strings.
at? Is Mississippi?
We're in Mississippi and we're in Tampa. We're working on a New York location.
Right on,
We got a
man.
journalist working with us out of there too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
My son's a drummer and he's out on the road right now. He just he played Albuquerque tonight. He's in a metal band right now. They hired him to play. He's like a hired gun right now. But a band called Seven Kingdoms, and they're doing a 25-day U.S. and Canadian tour, and then they're going to Europe. And he's 21. He's only been doing this 3 years. He's already toured the United States twice and Europe once.
man,
I don't know if you've ever heard of a band
he's
called
on a
Inhuman.
roll.
Yeah, he's got it going.
So where can people support the band? Where can people find the band? All that good stuff. How do you follow you guys? Get in touch with you if they want to holler at you guys.
We have our own website, thecorruptionakron.com. You can buy all our merch through there. It's all right there. You can find show dates. You can find there's a player on there where you can listen to some of the songs. You can't download them, but you can listen to them on there. We got media. We got all that kind of stuff. We're on Bandcamp. And actually, Bandcamp is the only place right now that you can find the entire second album, being Number Two Sucks. And you can buy it on there and you can listen to it on there. The other places coming to a show, we got actual CDs because we're old school. So we got actual CDs, but you can buy those at our shows. We're on Facebook as the Corruption Akron because Facebook let our page get hacked and will give us our original name back. We're on Instagram as Jozey and the Corruption. We're on X as Jozey Corruption. So yeah, we're out there on everything. We're not on TikTok. We don't mess with that too much. But all the other stuff, we're out there. We're doing all that stuff.
You guys got anything new for us coming anytime soon, or?
Actually, January 9th, which is my birthday, we figure Grip will kind of fade in back, a little bit. It's been doing really good. We figure there's going to be another month or so of it doing good. January 9th, we're going to release a song called Feed It. It's a really cool rock and roll song. It could be the surprise off the new album. Everybody seems to love it. We'll have a video and a lyric video and all that kind of stuff. We're also going to have a regular video for Grip come out probably the beginning of December.
Man, well, when you guys do, get with us and we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
we'll either
yeah,
put
man.
out a short report or something.
If you go to
Yeah,
YouTube,
and
we got 7 videos up there, or yeah, no, five official
yeah,
videos up.
I think no, I didn't do your report. I think Jenny did your report on
Okay.
you guys, and I was in there when
Which was
publishing
awesome,
was
by the
going
way. We
on,
appreciate
and I was like, they were like, "What video should we put on these guys?" And I was like, "Do the I am rock,"
it.
and then that was the video that went on your guys' report.
Yeah, that's
So
cool, man.
that was from me. But
Nice. Thank you.
one more time on X. Where can people follow you on X? And
Okay.
thank you for coming on for sure.
Yeah. We are on X as Jozey Corruption. Just
And this
those
has
two.
been Jozey and the Corruption. Thank you guys. And,
Thank you. Thanks for having us.